Hey guys, Abel here. This week I'm coming at you with something a little unique. I'm talking to Alessandro Ferrari, whom I met on the personal training course of Menno Henselmans from BayesianBodybuilding.com. We have spent a good part of our past year taking this course, which ran from January 2016 till about June 2016. It was a very exciting, unique, and highly influential experience in both of our lives since health and fitness is something we are very passionate about. We decided to do this review because we thought many of you guys might be interested in knowing what you could expect from this course. To give you a couple of nuggets in advance, overall we both liked this course a lot and basically rated a 9 out of 10. We both think that it is an amazing source of knowledge if you're passionate about fitness, and we both think that Menno is one of the best people to follow in fitness and bodybuilding. I think he's just an overall great role model in terms of how he's building his career and just the sense of craftsmanship that comes across. And if he had a general life coaching program, I would probably consider taking that. We both agree, however, that this course is definitely not for everyone, and it really is for people who take their own fitness journey or the fitness journey of their clients seriously. We also think that it's important for people to realize going in that the Bayesian PT course will introduce you to the Bayesian bodybuilding school of thought, which, being of course a very good one, is one specific school of thought. There are other thinkers in bodybuilding who are at the top of their game who think about applying training principles differently, for example, and their methods produce great results too for people. We both went into this course with the main goal of learning more about different training modalities, and at the end, our main conclusion was that now our nutrition knowledge in terms of practical application for body composition is at the very top. But in terms of training, this course in many regards has sparked even more question marks than what I had previously. Obviously, if you follow Menno's work, you won't be shocked to see that high-frequency training will be advocated in the Bayesian bodybuilding philosophy. And personally, one of my personal projects for the next year will be to explore the many caveats that go into high-frequency training, as personally, I do have my skepticisms there in terms of the importance of context when applying high-frequency training. The final thing I will say in this rather long intro that the three big benefits for me was, first of all, being able to pick Menno's brain for 6 months, essentially, which was incredibly valuable. Like I said, I respect this guy enormously, and being able to ask questions and get information directly from him was a huge value for me. The second thing was the community I was exposed to, which of course in practice means a lot of like-minded people who are equally passionate about fitness from all over the world. And the third thing is just the sheer amount of scientific literature that we were exposed to during this course. During this call, I said one time that if someone was to publish just the titles of the studies in a book that were listed in this course, that itself would be worth hundreds of dollars. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. The sound quality is kind of bad at some points, but you will probably still get the information that is meant to be given. So let's get into it. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. And this is going to be a review of the Bayesian Bodybuilding PT course that I have taken a couple of months ago now. It's been a 6 months course, and it's been a really cool experience. And I have with me my fellow Bayesian PT course member, Alessandro Ferrari.
Alessandro Ferrari, yes. Hi,
Awesome.
everybody.
Cool. And you, Alessandro, have a YouTube channel and a website called The Bro Scientist. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Cool. Yeah. Do you want to give any kind of overview of what you're doing there, and what is your focus?
Yes, basically, before even I knew about Menno, I already had this website. And my idea is that I was really pissed off with all the crap that people just throw at you. These bros, they tell you you should do this, you should do that, but without any scientific explanation whatsoever. And also, they just say a lot of bullshit. So I was really pissed off, and as really, hobby, as a side thing, I decided to create a website and just create blog posts on topics that I would do research about, and then make some kind of reviews on topics and create the website. And then, yes, I found out basically there is a huge community of science or evidence-based fitness, and I basically jumped in.
Right. So yeah, I've seen a cool video that you've done. That was the last one I remember, on a protein sparing modify fast and how you're doing it. I've seen that was a popular video. Yeah, I recommend people check it out because I actually don't know if I've ever seen a video on that on YouTube ever. But yeah, cool. So you're doing your YouTube channel, and you're looking to break into the fitness industry now. Is that correct?
Yes, but I also want, especially on my YouTube, I have a lot of recipes because my background, I'm Italian, and I really love food,
Yeah.
And one thing that I never could stand is that you need to eat just broccoli and rice for if you're a bro, if you want to become huge and stuff. So I decided, well, I eat pretty well. I mean, I eat delicious stuff. Why not sharing with everybody? So I have there a lot of recipes too. So it's not only the science, but also I really enjoy.
Right. So that's why it's bro scientist, not just scientist. So yeah, and you're also working on your PhD, is that correct?
Yes, I'm in the last months. I should submit my thesis, I think tomorrow, finally. My PhD is in biochemistry, biotechnology and biochemistry.
Awesome. So yeah, we have a knowledgeable participant here on this call. So yeah, so let's talk about this course. So we both joined. This is the Bayesian bodybuilding PT course, and this is run by Menno Henselmans, who is one of the kind of big names of recent years in the fitness industry. He's a very knowledgeable guy. Also has a great physique, and so I guess what were your expectations getting into this? Like, what did you expect from this course when you got into it?
So what did I wanted to know? I mean, my expectations were to get a solid knowledge base. And by solid, I mean it is backed up by science. And you might say, well, there are a lot of people that cite scientific studies online, but the problem is that these people, most of them, are cherry picking studies, They just want to prove their points. What I noticed and what I liked about Menno, reading his posts on BayesianBodybuilding.com, was that he would give you both sides of the stories. The papers, the research that proves this point, but the papers that also go against it. So yes, that's what I liked, and that's what I wanted: a solid scientific knowledge base for fitness and nutrition.
Right. Yeah. I guess it was the same for me. I don't know if I've been coached by Menno and a personal trainer. I've been a client of his in the past, and to me, he always seemed like this mysterious kind of guy who, like, sometimes he would appear on a podcast or something, and he would drop these knowledge bombs, and I would be like, "Whoa, that's very interesting," and I want to learn more. But he is not so, like, he doesn't have a YouTube channel. He's not so, he doesn't put himself out there as much as other guys like Eric Helms does, for example. So I was like, okay, I want to learn the secrets and like the thoughts and what's on this guy's mind. And so yeah, when I saw that he had this course, I started considering it pretty early on. With that, what was your, like, for you specifically, kind of the gaps in your knowledge that you wanted to fill with this course, if there was any?
Yes, the thing for me was especially training, because nutrition, I studied medical biotechnology and molecular medicine. So let's say on the nutrition side, I was kind of covered, although of course you don't study such things at a university. For instance, how much protein you should eat per day, especially if you train in the gym. So the nutrition was kind of okay, although I still learned a lot, really amazing content. But really, what I want to know more was about training. Training was really something on which I wanted, like, kind of you can say definitive answer, but something that is kind of approximates the truth as much as possible.
Yeah, same here. I think there's a lot of in nutrition. I mean, it is complex to some degree, but I mean, really, when it comes down to body composition, and the biggest things are pretty simple. Like the old cliche of like eat less and exercise more. If you want to lose weight, then eat more. If you want to gain weight, eat a bunch of protein. It is, of course, a lot more complex than that, but I mean, after all, it really is kind of that simple. But in training, I mean, oh my God, like there is, yeah, basically I just wanted to have a solid foundation so that I can actually structure a training plan with some certainty that actually I'm doing the right thing. So, I guess let's talk about, like, give people some idea of the basic setup of the course. Like how we receive the reading material and the study material. Yeah. Do you want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. So the course was something pretty new to me because everything was based on Facebook. We had this Facebook group with all the members of the Bayesian PT course, and Menno was, of course, the moderator. And every week he would post a new PDF of a new topic, of course. And then for that post, we could ask questions in the comments. And every time we were like so many questions, of course. And Menno was answering most of the questions. I would say 90% of questions he was answering. Because we were also very, so many questions. That was pretty insane. Because then also the weeks after, we would go back to questions for previous material. So basically that was it. Facebook group, a PDF file. And in the PDF file, you would find text explaining the topic with links to the scientific papers, links to of Menno previous conventions, seminars, and stuff like that. And also, he would give us recommended readings that are scientific papers about a specific topic. Some are optional, some are not. Yes, that's it, basically. I don't know if you want to add something else.
Yeah, basically that was it. Actually, it's funny because you mentioned that there was a lot of questions that I think you and I were probably the two most active people in the...
Yes, that's the word.
Yeah. What were your personal favorite topics? Because I mean, we had, it was a 6 months course, and it was basically 4 topics per month, essentially, right? So on average, there were 1 topic per week.
So the one I liked were also kind of the unexpected, in the sense that I was not expecting this kind of topics from such a course. So I really like the lifestyle things like management of stress and sleep. I also like the health food choices, for instance. That was really interesting. But what I found really fascinating was the topic about compliance. Mm-hmm. Because there is all the psychology. Because, Abel, people like me and you, or everybody that is in this kind of field, we are pretty disciplined, We want to do something, we want to achieve something, and we work at it. But we don't realize that we're going to work as a personal trainers with the general population that actually doesn't really give crap that much. So you have to kind of get into their heads and understand how they think, which is completely opposite of what you think. While for you, it's, of course, I'm going to track my calories, or of course, I'm going to train on that day. General population doesn't think like that. So that was really interesting for me too, like the psychology of, the psychology behind this.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing about that was like how this Menno guy thinks about that kind of stuff. Some of his methods are kind of unconventional, and like in the compliance topic, it was very obvious. Like, okay, this is kind of the life philosophy of this guy.
It's very well. I think it's also the tagline of his website. Is where rationality or something like is a very rational guy. He's a very rational guy, and that basically drives. Looks to me. I mean, I don't know him that well. I don't know him at all beside the course, but it looks like everything is driven by rationality in what he does, and also how he approaches the clients.
What would you say are the biggest biggest benefits of someone taking this course in your opinion?
The benefit is that in one single course, even if it's 6 months, you will learn a ton of stuff. So you won't have to go through all the scientific papers, check how good they are, and then make yourself an opinion. I'm not saying to just believe blindly whatever Menno says. Of course, you have to check it for yourself, always be skeptical, but at least it's a very good starting point. At least it has very scientific background. And what also, I think he has I don't know if he's a statistician as a background, I don't know, but he really understands statistics. So every study, it can tell you, well, this is good, this is not, and this is why. So the main benefit from this course is that you get a massive amount of knowledge in very short time.
Yeah, and I would say, to me, like I think there are three big benefits that I think that I got from this course, and one is that, for one, you will have access to one of the top guys in the fitness industry, and you can basically pick his brain for 6 months. Like, I mean, and if you think about like how much money people spend on supplements, for example, that don't even work. If I think about how much, I mean, there was a point in my life when my shelf was just full of these pills and vitamins of every kind, and it was like hundreds and hundreds of dollars or euros per month, probably, if I had it.
Bro.
Yeah, I really was, and not to mention all the organic coconut oil and all that kind of shit. So I mean, if I think about how much people spend on these kind of things and contrast that with spending that amount of money on like getting knowledge from some of the smartest people in the field, I think there is no comparison. So I think that is one thing. The other thing is, actually, when I was preparing for the exam, I started to just write out the titles of the studies that were referenced in the course, and because I was afraid that the links would not work after some time, and just the sheer amount of studies that were listed there, that's when I realized like, holy crap, like if someone was to just publish these study titles in a book and sell that would probably be worth hundreds of dollars, because to find all that stuff for yourself, so vast amount of value. And also, I mean, I guess there is the community aspect. So like you and I can, for example, interact because of this course, and you find like-minded people and people with similar ambitions, and that goes a very long way. So that's what I would say. All right, man. Are there any things that are negatives or points of improvement or criticism, anything like that you can think of?
Yes. Of course, because otherwise it looks like Menno paid us or something to make this. Yes, of course, there are some things that need to be improved, in my opinion. And that's especially when it comes to, the topic of nutrition is very well done. It's very thorough and everything. While there are some lacking, in my opinion, in the training part, especially when it comes down to case studies. I would have definitely liked to have more case studies, because in the end, as you said, nutrition all comes down to a few things. Of course, there are optimization, etc., but training is a little bit more, and it's also where it comes the difference between, a scientist and a coach.
Yeah.
So I would like to have more case studies, and also a little bit more in details, for instance, for exercise selection. Although, I mean, he gave us a lot of tools already, but more examples would have been great. And also about the progression models.
Yeah.
And that's something that I would have expanded more upon, because it's, so when you're stuck, a certain weight, well, we know what to do, the reactive deload and stuff, and then what? If you're still stuck, for instance. So I would expand on that, but I mean, that's just a slight little part of it. Maybe the topic of anabolic steroids would also be interesting to know more about it, because we had just really an introduction.
Yeah.
He said, of course, that it's not going to teach us how to do steroids.
Yeah, shit, I want to know what to inject.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe, well, another thing I would say, that for sure this course is not for everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, it requires a certain level of education, in my opinion, because it's really complicated stuff. It's not easy. And you need to be really, really interested in this kind of stuff, because it really goes in depth, and you have to really study. You have to study, like, seriously.
Yeah. I'm really glad you brought that up at the end, because I would say that this is so. If someone, so Menno, for example, always says that his typical client is the sort of intermediate trainee who has already made the newbie gains and now wants to get to a more advanced level. And I would say that the same applies for this course. So I would say that this course is for people who already have the foundations down, already at probably an intermediate level as a trainee, but at least at an intermediate level in terms of their fitness knowledge. Because if you're a brand newbie, then a lot of stuff around nutrient timing, for example, they will just confuse you, I would say. Like I would say first, read the nutritional pyramid and training pyramid of Eric Helms, or at least watch the videos. And if you understand the basics, then yeah, I would say I highly recommend considering taking this course. But yeah, I completely agree. And also, like, you should know going in that this is like one kind of specific school of thought around bodybuilding. So it's like there are other very smart people who think differently about training. They organize their training in a different way, and Menno also acknowledges that, for example, in the optimal training volume and intensity and frequency topic, he says that this is one way to monitor your training volume. There are other ways, but this is how we do it in this course. So just know that going in. So
yeah, of course. I mean, what you're going to learn from this course, that's my opinion. Well, it's also the name of the course, is the Bayesian bodybuilding method. That's his thing, you know, what he came up, his method he came up after years and years of studying and trying with clients. I mean, it's not the definitive answer, of course. So you are going to learn one method. Of course, the basics are going to be shared, like, for instance, nutrition, or that volume is is important for hypertrophy. I mean, these are the basics. But then how you apply it, because, for instance, the autoregulated volume training is his method. I think it's his method. I don't know if anybody else does that, for instance.
Yeah. I mean, and also just to reiterate what you said about you said that you wanted more detail in certain things, like in certain topics. I also had that feeling, but regardless, like, I think this is partly the nature of any kind of online course. Like, I also kind of came into this course thinking that from now on, like, all my questions will be answered. Like, I will have no questions ever again. Like, I will know exactly what to do in this situation and in this situation and in this context and this context. But what this course really does is kind of, it gives you the foundational knowledge. And then based on that knowledge, you can, most of the time, you can answer these questions for yourself. However, I would agree with that with certain topics, I kind of had the feeling like, okay, if there was just like another couple of sentences at the end of this paragraph of like, in my experience, this works like this, or because I mean, yeah, like you said, it's not just science, it's also about experience. And he has worked with hundreds of clients and most of us haven't. So just a couple of like extra lines sometimes, I kind of felt like it would have been a low effort input, but at the receiver end, it would have been vastly, vastly beneficial. This course will provide you with a good foundation so that you can assess these questions for yourself. Would you agree?
Sure. Yes, and also just know that after this course, well, if you pass the exam, you get a certification to become a personal trainer from Bayesian bodybuilding. But that doesn't mean that at that point you know how to get clients. So you should be aware of that. You learn how to be a personal trainer. Then it basically opens new door. Then you have to study for yourself, for instance, the business part of it, how to get clients, how to promote yourself and stuff like that. So be aware of it, that there is still some work to do afterwards.
Oh, fucking hell yeah. I mean, I always kind of, I don't, this is going to be a huge tangent, but have you read by any chance the book So Good They Can Ignore You?
No, but I heard of it.
Yeah.
It's on my wish list.
Oh man, read that book. That is to date one of the very few books that I read 2 times, because it's an amazing book. But this is, I'm just saying it because I just heard an interview recently with Menno where he says that just chase your passion and then the rest will take care of itself. And it's kind of funny hearing from him, because actually when he started, as far as from what I gathered from his story, when he actually started on this, like getting into the fitness sphere, he already had a very good foundational knowledge about fitness. He already basically was aware of a vast amount of literature, and he already had a great physique. And he basically, he sent an article to T Nation, but at that time he was still working as a business consultant. So by the time he actually started working full time as a fitness professional, he had a huge amount of foundation to build upon. So yeah, like chase your passion, but also you have to build a shit ton of skills if you wanna
You have to work hard for it, for everything. You have to hustle. Otherwise, I mean, things are not gonna just rain from the sky.
Yeah.
You have to have a passion and then work at it. Not just say, "Oh, I'm passionate about that." Well, do something about it. Just expand on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess to wrap up the review itself, how would you rate the course from 1 to 10?
I would say 9, because 10 is perfection, and of course, it's very difficult to achieve perfection. But this is a 9 for sure.
Yeah, I would actually agree with you. I would say 9 out of 10. And so I guess we concluded. We said I guess just the final conclusion. Who would you recommend this course for?
I would recommend this course for a person that has been already training for at least 1 year, in my opinion, and wants to know more about it. And is sick of all the bros out there, so he wants some knowledge, but to the point that he's very passionate about it, really into it, because the course is difficult. It's hard. And you need to love this stuff and put hard work in it.
100% agreed. That's a great point to conclude it. All right, man. So I'm closing this discussion hereby. Awesome. All right, guys, that was it. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comment box. And otherwise, please subscribe for more cool content like this. So see you next time.